Hello, welcome to my talk on living wisdom. I'm Dr. Tenderlin, a professor and a psychologist, and my today's topic is senior vulnerability in loving money, sex. The reason I want to talk about this topic is because in February 16, 2013, there's one horrible crime case happened in Bali, Taipei. It said there's one couple, Mr. and Mrs. Jin Fu Chen, went to a coffee shop, have a cup of coffee because they were invited to participate in a party. However, on that night, they were disappeared. And later on was found murdered, and the body was being discovered on a nearby river. And the coffee shop owner and the employee were the suspect. And Mr. and Mrs. Jin Wu Chen is my friend, my close but a distant friend. And although 8 years have been passed, but the case is still ringing on my head. And the upcoming is Christmas in next week. And I like to make a presentation on this case. Hopefully, it can help me to clear my head and my mind. Ever since the case, I have been listening to the video, watching the TV, and read whatever available article. And right now, I get into the internet, I still get to see a lot of case video available in the internet. From what I can learn from all the available information, I come to understand that Mr. Cheng Jinfu and his wife on February 16, 2013, they attended a party invited by Miss X, a shop manager. And during the night, they stayed there for about 1 hour, but was disappeared because Miss X committed premeditated murder. She intoxicated them and carried the prepared knife and carried them to the riverbank and killed them and throw their body on the riverbank. And finally, Miss X, Sei-han, was sentenced with life prison, even though the severe court fireman still not settled it. And Miss Sei-han stated that she purely killed for the money because she is going to get married and she needs money. The above is the result from court proceeding. And from now on, let me tell you a little bit what I know about Mr. Cheng Jinfu. He is my college classmate. And during the college year, I was so envious of him because he had a good girlfriend with him. And when we graduated in 1962, we split. He went to Japan and I come to the United States. So we are really a distant friend. And in approximately 1975 or 76, I went to Japan. I didn't get to see him, but I met his first wife. That is my college classmate. And at that time, he is considered separate from his wife, and he married to his second wife, and Zhang Cuiping. And we don't really maintain a close contact because I'm in the United States. However, in 1985, I get a letter from him. He said he is a king of the island, as reported by Japan economic news. And he said he thoroughly enjoyed his life in Japan because he owned 2 islands and was able to enjoy and write his book. And I encourage him very much. And he invited me, if any time I can go to Japan, might be possible we can retire together in those 2 islands. However, on one day in 1992, I met him in the airport. And he told me at that time he was considering to have his wife, that's his second wife, Zhang Cuiping, to come back to Taiwan to teach. And I was a little bit disappointed at that time because that means I won't be able to go to Okinawa to visit his 2 islands. And I was a little bit disappointed. On February 4, 2010, we have a class reunion in Taiwan Normal University. The day before that, me and another class met with him in Danshui Red House. At that time, Mr. Chen Jinru was very happy and a very proud man. He said he gave me a book, 大圣起信论释义. This is the book on Buddhist text. And he was very proud because he just completed his book. And this book, he mainly was written when he was in a Japanese island. And I thank him for this book, and we have a good talk at that time. But I feel bad because we didn't really talk about the book. But next day, we have a class reunion, and this is Chen Jinhu. And at that time, we specifically asked him about his feeling, and he told us that he has no any grudge or any bad feeling toward his first wife, because his first wife is our classmate too. So this is the time I know about him, and I feel at that time Chen Jinhu is very happy because on that day he even invited me to ride a ferry boat to the other side of the Danshui River to his house, his new house, new villa, and that is really situated on a mountain hill overlooking Danshui River, and it's a very good surrounding, and I can feel he is really enjoy his retirement life in Taipei. The above is the major key information I have about Mr. Chen Jinhu. But because of the court proceeding often talk about love, sex, and money, and because of Chen Jinhu at the time of crime is age 78, he can be considered as a senior. So I like go back to the internet to find out what major knowledge right now about senior in regard to sex and love. I find out these two pieces of information. The first piece of information tell me that violent crime, like a murder, this type of violent crime is mostly happen to the young age here. You see, 12 to 24 is the highest one. But you see, 65 and below, the older age are very low. And on this side here, say, the commit the crime, also most of the younger people are really low for the older people. So generally speaking, the older people, they don't get violent crime and they commit very few violent crime either. However, regarding to sex, they did say that older people, they can be active and enjoy the sex. Come to this point, let me share with you about my feeling about the case and my thought about the case. First, my feeling about the case. And this is 3 points here. First one, I feel this case cannot really messy because there's no on-site simulation during the whole process. And case proceeded mainly based on investigator reasoning, pleading, and a suspect's confession. Therefore, it gives the chance that Miss X, the key suspect, overturned her own narration 4 times in total. Okay, the second feeling is I feel the true nature were hidden. We don't get to see the true nature of the crime. For example, the intoxicated liquid, it is the coffee or beer, not sure. And the autopsy said Mr. Chen and his wife body were already dead before they get into the river. Then I'd like to know how this key suspect, Miss Yihan, a young lady, get to toss the 80 kilogram or 60 kilogram body onto the river. How she did that? Again, I'd like to know how this crime was carried out in 18 minutes. It's not easy for a lady to do that, drag one man at a time back and forth and carry out the crime in 18 minutes. Okay, so my third feeling is this case did not touch upon Mr. Cheng Jinfu's ownership on 2 islands. I call him King Chen because the newspaper say he was the king at that time. But his 2 islands wasn't touched upon because at that time of the crime, there's international attention, and there are few people are eager to buy the island. Here is my thought about the case. First, the major accusation from Miss Yihan, she says she had a sexual relationship with Mr. Cheng Jinfu. I fear they might have. I say might. I'm not sure. But if they did have a sexual relationship, I feel that was a mutual consent between the 2 adults. And Miss Yihan said that Chen Jinfu threatened to report their sexual relationship to her fiance. I don't think there's ground for that. Next, I feel Chen Jinfu loved his wife very much. They even associate with the sharp activity very often in couple. So I don't think Sei Yihan say that Mr. Chen Jinfu instigated her to kill his wife. I think this is highly improbable. Next, I feel Mr. Chen Jinfu trusts and hates Miss Sei Yihan very much, to such an extent that he slipped into so-called senior vulnerability. You know, when we get old, as Chen Jinfu already 78 years old, at that time, she could have some problem in cognitive assessment, especially in balancing love, money, and sex matter, making a wrong judgment. So, second one, Mr. Sei Yihan said the motive for commit the crime is purely for money, because she is going to need money to get married. Well, as we know, marriage is a joyful event, and for one to kill people just for personal joy, this is really highly unthinkable. So I feel the motive still need to be discussed. Okay, the next one, I feel this example is purely a bad luck. Chen Jinfu really got a bad luck. Just like his first ex-wife said, 真正有够衰. Thus, just for the God's sake, I hope this case later on might turn out just a shortcut of a bigger case. Thank you very much for coming to listen to my speech today. I think from now on, my head will be clear, and my heart will be very smooth and easy, will not be bothered by this case anymore. Because today I get to talk to people in public about my feeling and my position on the case. Thank you very much.